Absolutely not. All right. Yeah, that's your problem. You ate a Pop-Tart. All right. Okay. So everybody look at the front of these notes before I start. If we are converting polar to rectangular, first of all, I have to have an x and a y in my answer, right? So to go polar to rectangular, what do I do? R cosine and R sine, right? Okay. You guys, I know you don't want to do this. To be honest, I don't either. But, all right. But just so you know, I'm going to do it so we can do this quickly or we can make this take forever. So it'll be one or the other. So I can do it as fast as I can and we can be done, which would be my choice. Or you guys can go get water and keep messing around. This is going to take forever. You are not going. All right. When I'm done. So I'll bet you. I bet you're not dead when I'm done giving the notes. All right. Okay. So converting to rectangular, I need to end with x and y. Converting from rectangular to polar, I need an r and a theta. Okay? So everything we've done so far, we were given coordinates, right? So we were given x and y, or we were given r and theta. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert these equations from rectangular to polar, or polar to rectangular. And it's exactly the same thing. We're just going to have an equal sign now instead of just points, okay? Just say yes. And write it down. And just keep shaking your head. And everybody smile, because we're having fun. Okay. So first of all, y equals x. So I want to go to polar. So if I have y equals x, I have to end with either r or theta, correct? All of you shake your head. There you go. All right. So if I take y is r sine theta. And x is r cosine theta. Because I know everything. It's also on the front of your notes that you're writing on. Okay, so what happens to my r's? They cancel out. So if I divide by r cosine theta and r cosine theta, the r's cancel. The cosine cancels on this side, so I have 1. So I have the sine of theta over the cosine of theta is actually the tangent. Bless you. So that's all right. What's cosine divided by cosine? Oh, this is going to take all day. Okay. So the tangent of theta equals 1. So we wrote our little chart out. Where does the tangent of theta equal 1? Pi over 4. So theta equals pi over 4. So we took the x and a y and we changed it to a theta. So we went from rectangular to polar. I know. It wasn't even that hard, right? Yeah, pretty much. So x, what did we say the x was equal to? R cosine theta equals 0. Okay, so with this group, this is a little hard, but we're going to have to think for just a minute. I know, it's going to be scary. Okay, so on this one, I divided by cosine, right? So if I divide by cosine here, what happens to the cosine? It's 0, right? So I get r equals 0. Do I get Can I have a circle with a radius of 0? Oh, thank heaven. Good answer. Good answer. So we can't do that, right? So instead of dividing by cosine this time, let's divide by r. So what do I have to do to get rid of the cosine? Because I just want the theta. So almost, all from you guys, I'll take that. It's almost, can we do the inverse of the cosine, right? So we're not dividing, but we're going to do the inverse. So where would the cosine equal 0? So think about your little chart. At pi, it's -1. Cosine is pi over 2, right? At pi over 2, it's going to equal 0. So my theta equals pi over 2. No, just this one. You do the inverse cosine, okay? Okay, I'm going to do another one, okay? So this time, y equals what? R sine theta. And it equals -5. So this isn't equal to 0 this time, right? So this time it's okay to divide by sine of theta. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Yes. Well, this theta is part of the sine because that's an actual value, right? We just don't know theta yet. That's all. So when these cancel out, I have r equals, I have -5 over the sine of theta. So that's 1 over the sine of theta. So what's the inverse of the sine of theta? Well, because it's like -5 times 1 over the sine of theta. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you people? Look. Yes. You guys are exhausting. Isn't this the same? Because I don't have room. So now I gave you a blank sheet of paper you can write on. It's up there. You could have picked up that blank sheet of paper. So what's 1 over sine? What does that equal? Close. Close. Okay. Okay. X squared plus y squared equals 7. That's the answer. Yeah, all done. I don't know. They're both there. It's okay. What do you mean it's okay? Because, so, listen. Okay. Okay. So, do you see the problem you started with? It's y. Y equals -5. To go to polar, you have to end up with an r and a theta, or an r or a theta. Yes. So as long as the x and y are gone, they're gone. Yeah, I can see this. You guys are sad. Okay. All right, I'm just going on. It is not hard. All right. X squared and y squared. Are you listening? So I want this to go to r and theta. Okay? Or either r or theta or r and theta. All of those combinations are all okay. So x squared plus y squared equals 7. What does x squared plus y squared equal? This equals r squared equals 7. Okay. You guys, turn to the front of your notes. X squared plus y squared equals what? Thank you. What do you mean, why did I put 2? Okay, I'm serious. I don't know if you really don't know. This is just x squared plus y squared equals r squared. We've been using that. It should be there from already. Okay, I don't have any square roots here either, Isaac. I don't understand. I haven't even moved. I haven't moved. Like, so the x squared plus y squared equals r squared. You guys, we're not even to the hard part yet today, just so you know. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and go. So r equals the square root of 7. So this is going to be a circle with a radius of the square root of 7. So the radius is 7, 7, and the center is 0, 0. So I'm going to do the same thing on F. Yeah, I did. So what do I have to do now? So take the square root. All right. So r equals the square root of 5 over the square root of 2. Can I have a square root in the denominator? So you can go ahead and multiply the 5 times the 2, and you get the square root of 10 over 2. And so the center, again, is at 0, 0. The center is not always going to be at 0, 0, and I'll show you an example in a minute. But right here, the x squared and the y squared, there's nothing with it, so the center is 0, 0. Okay, so for all of those we did, it was the r and the theta. So we had to get rid of the x and y and go to r and theta. So on the next set, they give us r and theta, and I have to end up with x and y. So what am I going to end up with in my answers? X and y. Because I said. So right here. So r. So I'm almost afraid to even do this. All right. All right. So it is. It's the square root, right? Is that what you have written on your paper on the other side? The square. Okay. So if r is this, let's just go with that. Right? I just replaced r with the square root of x squared plus y squared. It equals r squared. So I want to get rid of the square root. So I get x squared plus y squared equals 144. So now it's a circle, right? It has a center of 0 and a radius of 12. Okay, so here we go. You're going to like this one. That's it. That's all you write on that one. Because we're down to x and y. Okay, you're all going to like this one. I'm positive. Everyone in here can get this one right. R sine theta, what does that equal? Stop. Y equals 4. You're all done. Okay. So, okay. So the secant of theta, so watch. I'm going to divide by the secant of theta. And I'm going to write this out. I'm going to get r times 1 over the secant of theta equals -2. So what's 1 over the secant of theta? What's the inverse of the secant? Which one goes with that? Cosine. Thank you. So now I have r cosine theta equals -2. And what's r cosine of theta? Hallelujah. -2. That's it. Okay. Okay. So that's exactly, did y'all hear Devin? There's only one thing you all know how to do with the theta. What do you do? No. What's the only thing you know how to do with the theta? The tangent, right? It's the only thing. That's all we have done the whole time. The only thing you can do with the theta is the tangent. For those of you that are actually doing it. Those of you that are copying are having some issues. Don't be offended. If it doesn't apply to you, you're not offended. All right. No. All right. So watch. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the tangent on both sides. And take the tangent of theta equals the tangent of -45. Okay? Now, so first of all, I'm going to give you a little visual here. So here's my -45, right? I'm just showing you. So everybody just relax. Okay. So first of all, so 45 is my reference angle. So up here, 45, the tangent of 45 would be the sine over the cosine, which is the square root of 2 over 2. Both of them are the same. And so this is 1, right? But what is the tangent in the fourth quadrant? I have a positive x and a negative y. So it's -1. So I know this value, right? The tangent of -45 is -1. Now, I have to switch from theta into x and y, right? So what is the tangent of theta? It's y over x. And so can I just move this x to this other side? No. And so, okay, so here's what I want you to look at, guys. Look. Up here, when I got y equals x, what did I end up with? Theta was 45, correct? This one, when theta was -45, I got y equals a -x. So look, if you look at my little circle, what we're really talking about is the slope of the line, right? Tangent, this slope is 1, and this slope is -1. And that's all it is. Okay? Okay, so here's the last one that I'm going to show you. And the last one is where the center is not at 0, 0. Okay? And we're going to have to complete the square on this one. Okay, so watch. What? It is going to be a circle. Okay. So we'll watch. So here's what I'm going to do. So I have to change this to x and y. So I'm going to multiply both sides by r. So I get r squared and 6r cosine of theta. I just multiplied by r on both sides. So I know my r squared equals x squared plus y squared. And what does the r cosine of theta equal? So I have 6x here now. Okay? Okay. So, watch. I'm going to take the 6x and I'm going to move it by the x squared. So I'm going to have x squared minus 6x, and I'm going to leave a little blank because I'm going to complete the square there. Okay, so to complete the square, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 squared is plus 9. What? Well, get a Kleenex. So if I add it to this side, I also have to add it to this side. Huh? Okay. I heard, that's what I heard too. I'm like, I don't even know. Okay. Yes, I hope the microphone is picking all this up. Okay. So I want to write this as a perfect square. So this is going to be x minus 3 squared plus y squared equals 9. So it is. So what's the center of this circle, friends? It's 3 and 0, right? And what's the radius of the circle? 3.